booted up Bloodborne for the first time ever. Yes, after Dark Souls 3 New Game Plus 7 and Elden Ring New Game Plus 4 on keyboard, I've jumped onto a refurbished PS4 Slim. Ironically, my first PS4, and I'm learning the controller from scratch. It feels weird, it feels chaotic, but it feels good. And this video, we are heading straight into Cathedral Ward, one of the most iconic early game areas in the entire game. Let's go! Oh yeah, one sec. I'm just gonna do a character model check, and I had picked up some stuff from that chest earlier. And here we go. Boom! Look at that! Cathedral Ward hits you instantly. The scale, the Gothic towers, the eerie lighting, it's insane. Central Yarnum was good, but this is straight up majestic. Even on a base PS4 Slim, the atmosphere is unreal. This is peak From Software world building, as we'll see. And yeah, there I just spoke to that lady, and she tells you some stuff about where you can refer some people and whatnot, and apparently you can send them to good or bad outcomes, and something linked to NPCs you have to help. And yeah, I'll get into that later. And yep, so let's start warming up here with some initial enemies. I'm still sticking to that simple spacing, charged R2s, keeping things clean. I'm not quite using the parries yet, though sometimes I do, not in this video. The controller training arc is still in progress. Hey, got him! We are surviving, we are moving, we are learning. And yeah, that's some blood boils, and I anyway got that guy. So yeah, and this is how I got the first two bosses as well. Now obviously I filmed this video after I beat them, because you can't reach this area without beating them, and I'll talk about them shortly. But yeah, for the time being, I love the charged R2s on this in the extended version of this axe. And I just picked up some of the hunter gear here. And yep, here I get dragged up by this entity called Amygdala or something, which is a potential entry to the DLC I later learned. I somehow survived this ambush, and yeah, it's like welcome to Yarnum, idiot, because I hadn't played this before. I thought that's a portal you're supposed to get into, so that was like a welcome to Yarnum, idiot. But good thing I survived, and I picked up some more blood vials, and yeah, now let's go. So great start so far. And movement in Bloodborne is wild. Like, coming from keyboard, the controller feels totally different. Strafing is a bit better, but the manual camera takes a bit of practice. And the speed, well, Bloodborne sits right between DS2 and DS3. You generate the aggression yourself. It's fast, it's fluid, but it's not quite Elden Ring speed. And of course, as I try more weapons, progress further, and try more weapon arts and go further into the game, I might change my mind on the pace. But right now it feels almost DS3 fast, just a little bit more deliberate. And yep, here I am wasting Molotov cocktails on low health, low threat enemies. But you know what the hell, I just beat a couple of bosses I never thought I would, because I didn't know how it'd go. But yeah, anyway, so I got them. And then honestly, imagine Bloodborne remade on Elden Ring's engine. That would be insane. But hey, even in its original PlayStation 4 form, this game slaps. The visuals may be older, but the experience is still top tier. And also shout out to PS4. 2013 hardware is still running this beautifully. Streaming apps, storage, video editing, exporting clips. It's a surprisingly complete system, though a bit dated, but it would have been a big thing when it came out in 2013. And of course, now you have PS5, you have more advanced gaming PCs and whatnot. And I too use a pretty funky mid-level but pretty high-tech gaming laptop to play Elden Ring and DS3. So now, yeah, this is some pretty good environment building here, and you can clearly see that this is the same team that built DS3, though those games aren't necessarily interlinked. And this is one area we'll come back to shortly. You have to unlock this tomb to go to another area, which I wouldn't do in this video. I will unlock the tomb, but I wouldn't be going to that area here. So it's pretty interesting. And oh yeah, just got surprised by that guy, but yeah, we got him, no worries. Low threat enemy, because sometimes I play without sound if I'm playing on a Friday night, even though it's a weekend the next day. Like, you know, my PlayStation is on the wall adjoining the neighboring apartment, so I don't want to create too much noise if I'm trying this on a night, even if it's a holiday the next day. So yep, here we are, some nice buildings here. This reminds me of one of the buildings in that Irithil area right next to where you rescue Sigvard. Yeah, that was in Dark Souls 3. And now we come to what is one of the most ordinary combat segments in this video. It wasn't my best performance by far, but I love the map design over here, where initially it looks like you don't know where the next lamp or bonfire is, and you explore a lot, but all of a sudden you end up opening a shortcut that wasn't accessible to you earlier and leads you back to where you started in the map. So even after all that exploring, you're worried about losing those souls or blood echoes or where the next map is. You eventually find a way to get back to the starting point, yet get a shortcut unlocked to open to where you had progressed deep into the map. So that's a pretty interesting and engaging design. You see that to a lesser extent in DS3, mostly in the Cathedral of the Deep and a bit in the Grand Archives and the Ring City. That's a pretty good design. I wonder why they didn't use that more in DS3 or in other games. But of course, Elden is at a different world level, so that was a more of a broader world-based exploring, so that was fun. But yeah, so yep, we just picked up Madman's Knowledge. I'm not a madman and I don't know what that is, but that's apparently important for later. And oh yeah, from that switch I had unlocked that tomb which we need to enter in later, and that should be pretty interesting. And yep, the architecture is pretty nice, and you wish you were here to see how good it actually looks on the PS. And yep, here we allegedly meet a very important NPC. I agreed to cooperate with this guy, and I didn't know it, but I sense that he helps later in the game, and I'm playing blind. But normally after I finish an area or I beat a boss, I sometimes like to look up how others played it to see if there was anything I missed, or in the rare case that I'm stuck on some boss or something, I might look at some tips. So eventually you end up using them partially and coming up with your own method as well. But yeah, but this dude was important, and he gave you some allegedly important stuff I'd get into. So I'm glad that I managed to meet up with this guy and did what I was supposed to do. So yeah, so that was pretty good. Now, in hindsight, going back to the first two bosses, so I beat the Cleric Beast. I didn't realize you didn't need to do him first, and I don't know whether he's optional or not. And then I beat Father Gasciogne, of course, otherwise I wouldn't have come here. Now, most people find Cleric Beast easy because they, face him after leveling up a bit. And Father Gasciogne, you can either cheese, or if there are people are speed running, or otherwise if you level up, there are ways to beat him. Now, when I faced Cleric Beast, I went in to face Cleric Beast first, and it was without leveling up, and I didn't realize that you don't necessarily need to beat him to progress further. So I had just come off a DS3 run, so I made that assumption, and I'd barely leveled up, and it wasn't very efficient to keep on trying to level up in the other area. So it was almost like playing him at RL1. And I also tried a PS4 remote, but that works with the Ethernet, and I had a Wi-Fi, so that slowed things down until I, ditched connecting my PS4 to my PC and went back to my big LG TV. So while I was doing that experiment, I had slowed things down as well. So it was a bit blurry without, the proper Ethernet to use the official app to connect it to your PC and stuff. So I did a few attempts, but I kept on doing it that way because I didn't want to upgrade before fighting him, because I wanted to see, like DS and Elden, can I identify his patterns, can I get behind him and all that. And I nearly beat him once that way, and then on the third or fourth attempt I nearly got him with Molotov cocktails, but I said there's no point, I want to learn his moveset. So eventually I beat him, but I did end up using 2 cocktails. But for a minute I was worried there, that I'm like, whoa, I don't know how I just beat DS and Elden at the top tiers, why am I struggling here? So then I beat him, and then in terms of Father Gasciogne, I didn't cheese him, though at one stage I was almost tempted to. My first, oh wow, wait, look at this. This looks pretty nice. This reminds me of one of those areas, near the barracks in DS3. And so for Father Gasciogne, I just I finished all the area, exploring everything that you almost could before you met him. So that gave me a decent level, and then sorry, I'm just letting somebody in as well. So and oh wait, here we met a big guy. This guy over here, I didn't know whether I'd have the strength to, or level up to take him yet. So I know is like Bloodborne is meant to be all aggressive. Yeah, I'm going to go and get him. But here I tried my baiting tactic like I do with big crowds. So you can also take crowds with a weapon out of this one. I baited this guy down the stairs because I didn't want him to cramp me in this narrow area like Father Gasciogne had. So I baited him down the stairs, and then what I did is that I took him to a well downstairs and then tried strafing and dodging him, and here I am wasting some Molotov cocktails instead of throwing pebbles. But that's what the first playthrough is like, just having fun, because I knew I could always buy these Molotov cocktails again. They're pretty all right. So that's the thing about it. And yep, so and then I just so in terms of Father Gasciogne, that by the time I reached him, I was at what blood or rune echo level 18 or 19, so I could tank some of his hits. So initially I was initially it took me a while to adjust to the camera angle, so I lost a couple of attempts there. And then once I did that, I, with the charged R2 of, one sec, oh wow, I just did an epic dodge here a few seconds ago, and I kind of missed talking about that. That was pretty zen. I just stood there or just did a last minute dodge, and here we got him. So we got this big guy. Yeah, I could have taken him out much easier earlier. So yeah, sorry, got a bit sidetracked there, and we won a Bloodstone shard, which is like the Titanite shard of this game, which helps in upgrading weapons. So yeah, so in terms of Father Gasciogne, what I found is that my charged R2 was doing a lot of damage to him in the phase 1. So I was quickly getting him to phase 2, but in phase 2 I was struggling with the beast. It almost felt that unless I used the parries, he could almost hyper armor, though I'm not sure whether it's true or whether it's because I wasn't that far leveled. So I did try it a couple more times until I got some good RNG and I managed to get behind the beast, because you couldn't really get away from all of his combos that easily as you could from his first phase. And once I got behind him, I took him out as well. So basically charged R2s and then trying to get behind him. So that's how I took out Father Gasciogne. And yeah, so now we come to this nice area where you later go down to a place that I don't quite show you in the video and pick up an important item. But then here we first meet two big guys. I didn't realize they don't do much damage. I didn't recognize these as those brick guys from earlier. So I actually waste another Molotov cocktail to test how much damage I can do. And then once they get close, I just hit them with the charged R2s. Yep, we'll just shortly see this proceed. And yeah. One second, just take me back. One second, Yep, no, all right, just coordinating something. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting segment there. And yeah, so, and then yeah, these crows aren't as scary looking as they should be. So they look a bit funny, but they're not quite as irritating as the birds in Elden Ring, or I don't know, is there a bird in DS3? Oh yeah, there is some weird stuff in DS3. I'm not sure whether there's a bird or not. So, and yep, here we've picked up a monocular at the 1:38 mark, and you can use it to zoom in and stuff, and apparently it can assist you with the shooting as well, though although that gun is meant for parrying, I sometimes use it for fun, or birds or weaker enemies to just fully take them out. So here I just use the monocular, I hope I said that right, to just have a look at the area and whatnot. And yeah, so looks pretty nice. It's pretty awesome for 2015, and this is on the slim PS4. People who are using Pro or whatnot, or a PS5, I speculate that they may have better visuals, or I see like everyone online has a slightly better visuals or faster play than mine. So I assume they're playing they've either gotten a better tech, or they're also using like maybe like a capture card or something, and to stream it in 4K plus, which sometimes even I use CapCut to improve the footage of my prior things like CapCut or Clipchamp. So that's pretty good. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But Yeah, but this is the base ordinary PS4. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was good fun, and yeah, it has been a pretty great first time starting off Bloodborne, and I'm going to continue playing it a bit further and hopefully send you some more boss videos and better gameplay. And in this one, other than just the boss cuts, I'm also going to focus on the exploration. Like, I really like the architecture and all. I did try a bit of that with DS3, though toned that down a bit. And yeah, that should be pretty good. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry I got a bit sidetracked while coordinating a delivery, but great. I hope you had a great time, and see you in the next one.